Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're tuning in, chances are you're right in the middle of a major life event. Maybe you just tied the knot and you're ready to add your new spouse to your home's title. Or, perhaps you've inherited a family property, or you're looking to gift a share of your real estate to one of your kids. Whatever your specific situation happens to be, understanding the precise, step-by-step procedure for modifying a property deed in Michigan is absolutely critical to protecting what is likely your most valuable asset. Now, you might be wondering, is it really that big of a deal? A lot of folks kind of think adding someone to their deed is just filling out a quick administrative form. But I need to be super clear about the high stakes right out of the gate. This is a fundamental restructuring of your finances, your ownership, and your legal liability. By adding a name, you are literally giving away a percentage of your property. You're altering your exposure to creditor claims and completely changing what happens to that house when you pass away. It's a massive legal move. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The power of a deed. 2. Choosing your co-ownership. 3. The property tax trap. 4. Michigan's strict legal rules. 5. The step-by-step process. And 6. Mistakes and professional advice. Section 1. The power of a deed. Understanding the legal instrument. So, in simplest terms, a property deed is the official legal instrument that transfers a title from one person, the grantor, to another person, the grantee. But in Michigan, you've got some choices, and they matter a lot. The warranty deed is essentially the gold standard. It offers the absolute highest level of protection. It guarantees the title is totally clear of hidden debts and legally binds you to defend the new owner against any future claims. Then, on the flip side, we have the quit-claim deed. This is the quickest method, often used between family members, but here's the catch. It comes with 0 warranties. It basically just says, hey, whatever I own, I'm sharing it with you. It's fast for sure, but completely lacking in any legal safety nets regarding the title's history. Section 2. Choosing your co-ownership. How you share the property and liability. The legal structure you choose dictates everything, from how much of the property each person controls, all the way to what happens if one of the owners passes away. There are 3 primary ways to share property in Michigan. First up is tenants in common. This is the default. If you don't explicitly specify otherwise, this is what you get. But beware, it has absolutely no survivorship rights. If an owner dies, their share goes straight to probate court, not to the other owner. Second is joint tenancy. This one's incredibly popular because it includes survivorship rights, meaning the property passes directly to the surviving owner, totally bypassing probate. And third, tenancy by the entireties, which gives you those same probate-avoiding benefits, plus some serious armor against creditors. But it is strictly reserved for legally married couples. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is there is a very special 4th type of ownership that is entirely unique to Michigan law. It's called joint tenants with full rights of survivorship. It basically takes the standard joint tenancy and throws an ironclad lock on it. You see, in a normal joint tenancy, one owner could theoretically just sell their share and completely break that survivorship right. But with full rights of survivorship explicitly written onto the deed, no way. That survivorship right cannot be destroyed by just one owner going rogue. It's an ultra-secure way to ensure the property ends up exactly where you intend it to go. Section 3. The property tax trap. Beware the uncapping of taxable value. All right, we need to talk about Proposal A. Under Michigan's Proposal A, your property's taxable value is legally capped from rising too fast. It can only go up by the rate of inflation or 5% per year, whichever is less. But here is the trap. Adding someone to your deed is legally considered a transfer of ownership. If you accidentally trigger an uncapping, your property's taxable value resets the very next year to the state equalized value. And what is that? It's 50% of the property's true cash value. Imagine gifting a share of your home to a relative without planning ahead, only to see your annual tax bill literally double overnight because the value sat safely capped for 20 years before resetting. Yikes. So, how do we avoid stepping on this financial landmine? Thankfully, Michigan law, specifically MCL 211.27a, provides some crucial family exemptions. You can add a spouse, a parent, a child, an adopted child, a sibling, or a grandchild to your deed without uncapping those property taxes. But, and this is a big but, you have to claim this exemption properly when you file your paperwork. If you don't, the local assessor will just assume the taxes should uncap and you'll be footing the bill. Section 4. Michigan's strict legal rules. Formatting the document correctly. You might have the perfect deed type and a flawless co-ownership strategy, but if the local county register of deeds doesn't like how the actual piece of paper looks, they will flat out reject it. Let me rattle off these strict statutory rules so you know exactly what a Michigan deed has to look like to be legally recorded. Ready? The first page must have a minimum 2.5-inch blank top margin. Everything has to be printed in black ink with at least a 10-point font size. The deed must clearly list the name and address of the person who drafted it, plus the full address of the grantee receiving the property. Oh, and for privacy, you can only include a maximum of 4 digits of any social security number on the document. The whole shebang has to be perfect. Let's move to and see how this builds. Section 5, the step-by-step process. Executing the transfer legally. So here is how you actually pull this off and execute the transfer legally in the state of Michigan. Step 1, draft the new deed, making sure you incorporate all those formatting rules we just talked about, along with the exact legal description of the property. Step 2, the current owners must sign the deed. And listen, this is absolutely crucial. It must be officially notarized. You can't skip that. Step 3, once that's done, take that original notarized deed and file it with the local county register of deeds, paying your recording fees and any transfer taxes. And finally, step 4, file a property transfer affidavit along with any of those necessary tax exemption forms right with your local city or township assessor. And speaking of that property transfer affidavit, I really need you to understand that this is not just some optional courtesy. Michigan law explicitly requires that it must be filed within 45 days of the transfer of ownership. If you happen to miss the strict deadline, you're subjecting yourself to financial penalties of up to $200. It's an incredibly simple form to fill out, but man, it is a really costly one to forget. Section 6, Mistakes and Professional Advice. Protecting your greatest asset. Because you're dealing with what is likely your single greatest financial asset, the margin for error here is literally zero. Getting this wrong can create a hidden cloud on your title that you might not even discover until years down the line when you actually go to sell the home. One of the most frequent and frankly most costly mistakes made by folks trying to draft deeds themselves is relying solely on a street address or a tax parcel ID number. Actually, scratch that. A street address is never legally sufficient to convey real estate in Michigan. You absolutely must use the full, accurate legal description. We're talking the exact geographical measurements and lot coordinates, which you can usually find right on your original deed. A single typo here can completely invalidate the entire transfer. Now, because the stakes are so incredibly high, I have to impartially remind you of this. This explainer offers general information derived directly from Michigan statutes and legal guidelines. It does not replace professional legal counsel. Real estate restructuring is highly specific to your own family dynamics, your finances, and your long-term goals. So please, always consult a licensed Michigan real estate attorney or financial advisor to ensure your deed is customized correctly for your unique circumstances. Well, we have covered a tremendous amount of ground today, from survivorship rights and avoiding probate, all the way to the dangers of uncapping your property taxes and navigating the strict rules of the Register of Deeds. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Are you prepared to navigate the legal and tax consequences of sharing your greatest asset? Proper planning today guarantees absolute peace of mind tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this gives you the structured clarity you need to confidently tackle your next steps.